My name is Josh Jones, and today I'm here to discuss the importance of Black women's self-esteem. Today's episode dives into a topic that's close to many of our hearts: the self-esteem in Black women. Now, this conversation around self-esteem can often be one-sided, focusing solely on the challenges, but here we offer a more nuanced look. While it's true that Black women face unique societal pressures that can impact self-esteem, it's also important to celebrate their strength, resilience, and undeniable beauty. Welcome back to the show. My name is Josh Jones, and today I'm here to discuss the importance of Black women's self-esteem. Like I do in all my shows, I'm going to jump straight into it and just say, yes, I believe Black men in particular, people that look like me, are the root and source of why so many Black women self-esteem is messed up the way it is now. We do not do a better job of treating women at all, and it's like the root of the problem is we don't fully have a good image of ourselves, and it kind of like rubs off in the way we treat our women. I've discussed this in many other shorts where, unfortunately we kind of created a culture to where like we're the only ones that like really degrade our women in a public sense. The whole B words and calling them, what you hear in a lot of rap videos is kind of ironic because I've gone to both predominantly white schools and predominantly Black schools, and the women were the same. I mean, if not, maybe at the white school they felt more liberated to be sexually like they wanted to because no one was judging them. But Black girls do certain things, and people, they typically call them names, and those have effects on people, especially their psychology. Plus, the media doesn't help either. Whenever you look at a Black girl on TV movies, they're definitely more sexualized than any other race that I've ever seen before. I think it kind of trickles down to like, I used to get real mad when I would see like foreigners and how they were like super over sexualized Black women. But then I realized, like, okay, the root of it is every time you see a Black woman on TV, they're showing her half naked, or the movies they're showing her being a slut. So, these hormones that men normally typically have, you see them, they're definitely like a sexualized thing. Like, I've never, no offense, but like when I look at a white woman or a Black woman, like there's definitely more of a sexual urge that I get for a Black woman in her body than I do with any other race. So I can't even fault any other race for having it because we've all kind of been programmed to like over sexualize Black women, and that's something that the media has definitely trained, and we've kind of just took on that persona and took it to a whole nother level. Well, I was doing research on this before I did this video, and it was crazy because a lot of the Black women who are bosses or who have like high accomplishments, it's like it's almost like ignored. They don't get the same recognition that a man gets for doing it. It's almost like, a Black guy does something great or invents something. It's like, wow, you were never supposed to do that. I can't believe you did it. But then it's like when a Black girl does it, it's like society tends to just get quiet. Crickets come out, and it's like it never ever happened. And so these things that are like, as a young girl, you're looking up, like, what do you have to look up to? You don't see anybody that looks like you being highlighted for her brains, or they're only being highlighted for their beauty. And so now you have a generation that is chasing this, and in the world where you're chasing confirmation from other people, other living, humans that you have no control of, that you cannot fully control the perception that they have of you. Yeah, it's gonna definitely tarnish and make your self-esteem hard. I mean, there's other problems as well. Like I said, Black men in particular, if we did a better job at uplifting, talking good about women, Black women, protecting Black women a little bit more, other races and other people wouldn't feel that they could get away with that. Like, you talk about like the Black woman being the most disrespected person. People only do stuff to people that they feel that they could get away with. And I do understand the history of like the black man has never really been in a position to be able to protect, defend, and fight back, and maybe that's come to part of our nature and what we've grown accustomed to. But that definitely needs to change. I mean, this is a new generation, a new day and time, and unfortunately, the lack of leadership, the lack of masculinity, the lack of like I said, the lack of masculinity from young black boys not being able to see, and a lot of them growing up in single mother households, so they're only seeing what their mother's doing and they're carrying on some of those emotional traits. You're definitely having this. When there's a lack of masculinity, that's when this like toxic masculinity kind of like starts to brew in. And the only way to really eliminate that and destroy that is to bring real masculinity into the picture. Now, I don't want this to only be like a bad thing, because there's definitely things about black women, like I said, that should be celebrated and should be highlighted, and maybe they're not so much. I think about someone like Madam C.J. Walker being the first woman of any race to be like a self-made millionaire. You have Kamala Harris now being in the White House. The movie Hidden Figures, seeing those women create those math equations to put those rockets into space. I mean, that's some very, very, aberrational things, but we're just not like, we don't get to see that. We don't talk about that enough. I also wanted to discuss um, there. I wanted to let women know there's a power in your femininity, right? There's a power in the way you smile, be sweet, and be joyful that it doesn't even look right on a man. But there's a power in just the way you smile, and I feel like a lot of women, especially black women, they don't know that. And if there's one thing in this video that I definitely wanted to leave you with is you can be great. You can be smile. You can smile. You can be happy. You can love yourself. And anyone that's telling you otherwise, there's something wrong with them, not you. You see what I'm saying? But you get that a lot, and I get it, and that's why I wanted to make this video to let you know, like, there's problems in our society that is definitely hindering, women in particular to have the self-esteem that they would otherwise not have. Like a male is crazy, because like I think about black men, you give them a little bit of money and their ego just goes out the roof. You don't really see that with our counterparts as much. And like I said, and these are things that just comes back with a society that was brought here and was pretty much told to fend on your own, get it how you live, and figure it out, as you're coming along. So things have been happening. Generations like you didn't have, home ownership, you didn't have black businesses, you didn't have these type of things for our previous generations. So now we're getting it, and we're kind of just having to learn on the go. Another thing I wanted to talk about is some strategies. Like we're talking about, like, okay, the self-esteem problems. There's certain things that might be happening that might hurt it, and there's certain things that we're not necessarily paying attention to. I wanted to also leave with like the strategy. Whenever you feel yourself feeling down or getting depressed, be mindful of the depression loop. It's like your thoughts create bad things, and then you're just like in this loop, and it's very, very hard to break out of. Sometimes you might need to get away from the people that making it come, or the environment, or just change the thoughts that you're having. But sometimes you just need to get out and do something cool to just uplift you. Because just how there's like this depression loop, your thoughts creating these negative, scenarios that actually play out in real life, your thoughts can also create positive scenarios that actually play out in real life. Don't believe me? Try this. Say if you're single and you want a man, take a piece of paper, Write down everything that you want about a man, the characteristics, everything that you would want him to have, and watch in a couple of weeks, he just pop out of nowhere. There's power in your thoughts, and you definitely remember that. And if anyone that's struggling with like self-esteem, if you know any females that's dealing with it, please send them this video. I hope everyone has a great day, and see you next time. Make sure you like and hit the subscribe button. It'll really help my channel out a lot, and I'll really appreciate it.